What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Let's go ahead and talk Indiana coaching candidates. Mike Woodson is fired right now. Now, we'll talk about if that could be reversed in the meantime, but right now they're on the bubble, but they're also looking for a new head coach. So let's go ahead and look at some candidates. I've got 10 names here. These are in no particular order. I'm going to give you the names, then I'll talk about who I would hire, and then who ultimately I think they will hire. All right. So it is sounding like right now it is down to pretty much two names from what I've heard. They've got two guys really rising to the top of their board. But first off, here we got Brad Brownwell at Clemson. He is one of the names I've heard is pretty high on Indiana's job board. Now, he's had a really good run these past couple of years at Clemson. Other than that, he's been on the hot seat a lot at Clemson. So I don't know how necessarily big of a fan Indiana fans would be of that hire. But as of right now, sounds like he's definitely in the running. Chris Collins, Northwestern. He's done pretty good at Northwestern for what you can do. I think he's a pretty good head coach. And his last few years they've had, not this year necessarily, but the years before this, they actually had a pretty solid team, made a run in the NCAA tournament a little bit. So Collins would be a solid hire, I think. Ben McCollum from Drake is the other name floating to the top of the board right now with Brad Brownwell. Sounds like it's probably going to be one of them. But he's done a good job at Drake, but Drake, I don't know, I question on how good he is because Drake is kind of a place where everybody seems to win. He talked about Darian DeVries the past few years. He's done pretty good there. Next up, Dusty May at Michigan. I know right now his name is not in the running, but you backtrack a year. If they would have fired Mike Woodson last year, Dusty May would be the Indiana coach right now. Wanted to come to Indiana, but reports are he signed an extension with Michigan. So as of right now, it sounds like he's booked. Mark Byington, Vanderbilt. Came over there from James Madison. He's got Vanderbilt in the NCAA tournament this year. Would be a solid hire, I think. Mick Cronin at UCLA. Is he eager to leave UCLA? I don't know. He came over there from Cincinnati. He's been vocal about the gripes he has with UCLA having to fly back and forth to the Big Ten teams. So could he join Indiana? Possibly. Mike Woodson, all right. Could they end up backtracking? Let's say they make the tournament. Let's say they go on a run and at least get to the second weekend. Do they backtrack that and be like, you know what, we made a mistake. Here's the job back. Would he even accept it? That I don't know. Greg McDermott, Creighton. He's done pretty good things at Creighton, and his name's been floated around a lot. Would he leave for a little less stable job? Like he's probably said at Creighton for as long as he wants to. Would he leave for a less settled job? I don't know. Will Wade, McNeese State. Another name getting thrown around with pretty much any job this cycle. Former LSU coach. He's done pretty good at McNeese State. He's got them in the tournament again. Do you want to bring the baggage that he has, though? That I don't know. It doesn't seem like Indiana boosters are kind of wanting to do that. Chris Beard at Ole Miss. If you could hire Chris Beard, this is the dude you hire. I mean, he's one of the best coaches in the country. Got Texas nationally relevant within a year or so. Took Texas Tech to the national championship, something that nobody in probably the near future is going to be able to do. Chris Beard, a heck of a coach. Is he willing to leave the SEC to go to Indiana? That I don't know. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this list a little bit. First off, we'll mark off Chris Collins. I don't see him leaving Northwestern, let alone for Indiana. Also, let me add this. It's going to bother me. I think Greg McDermott has two T's. Next name we're going to mark off, Mark Byington at Vanderbilt. I think he's a solid coach. I don't think he's done it long enough, though, to leave. Next name we're going to mark off, Greg McDermott. I don't think he leaves Creighton for probably anything, let alone Indiana. It's just so unstable of a job. Mick Cronin at UCLA, I think he could probably find a better one if he wanted to, because historically as good as Indiana is, like job-wise, right now it's not super good as far as highly relevant. Like if Texas came open, I would think Texas would be above Indiana in the pecking order when it comes to who they could hire, which is why I'm kind of surprised on like who their final two supposedly are. I'd probably go a different direction. Mike Woodson, I think that bridge is burned. Even if they did somehow make the tournament, which I don't think they will, but if they did somehow make the tournament and go on a run, I don't think they can run it back, and I really don't even think he would say yes, probably. So I don't think that happens. Next thing we're going to mark off, Will Wade. I think he's going to get a different job from what I've heard. I don't think it's going to be Indiana. I don't think they want to have that issue, bring on that baggage. Chris Beard at Ole Miss. Next thing we're going to mark off. It doesn't sound like that's going to happen. Now, personally, from this list, I would hire Chris Beard or Dusty May probably, but it doesn't sound like that's going to happen. But if I had my pick of the litter here, if I was running this job search, I would throw the bank at Chris Beard. He's a bona fide top coach in the country. If I could hire him, I would go hire him right now because he's going to put your team instantly on the map. He's going to win ball games. He's going to make the tournament. Chris Beard's the guy I would go get, but I don't think they will. All right, next one's going to be Dusty May. I would not be shocked if his name somehow gets back in the running because, again, I know it's off the radar right now. Now, if they wait this out, let's say Michigan gets dipped in the tournament, does his name start popping back up? That's the question there. All right, so let's go ahead and mark him off. All right, so we're coming down on the final two here. Ben McCollum, Brad Brownell. I don't think the Indiana fan base is going to be particularly favorable about either one of these hires. Ben McCollum, he's done good, but he's only had 1 year at Drake and done success. Now, he's had success previously in the D2 level, won national championships, I think. But at Drake, again, anybody can pretty much win there. It's been proven. So, I don't know. But Brad Brownell, another one, he's been on the hot seat a lot. He's had a good run these last couple years at Clemson, but is that just due to the team he has right now? I don't know. This is one of the harder ones I've had on here, like as far as deciding who I would or who I think they'll go with. Obviously, I wouldn't go with either one of these guys. I'd hire Dusty May or Chris Beard. But from what I've been hearing right now, I think they'll probably go Brad Brownell, believe it or not. Now, I could be wrong on that. It could be Ben McCollum, but from what I've seen, it sounds like that's going to happen. He's probably going to go on a run in the NCAA tournament this year to at least the second weekend, probably, maybe the Sweet 16, and kind of get his name relevant again. So I would not be shocked if that is who they go with. But who do you think Indiana hires? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.